Welcome, everyone, to the April 2022 Becky's Anonymous live stream. This is part 2 of Full Spectrum Justice and Black Maternal Health. Last week was Black Maternal Health Week, a week of activism and community building for Black mothers. We joined the Neighborhood Birth Center to witness another fireside chat. This one was about what is possible to advance racial justice in birth. If you missed it, you can still watch it on their Instagram channel. The questions for us from this conversation are: what is possible for us collectively when we hold birth sacred? And how can we help every community have access to a birth center? Please join us in our Grow Circle on Wednesday to go deeper with these questions and identify the ways we need to take action. No matter what your personal relationship is to birth, we can all be mothers of community by taking action. Disrupt the dominant narrative of birth as trauma. Center Black mothers, birth workers, and midwives in leadership. Advocate for policies that ensure access to full spectrum care for marginalized communities. Invest in BIPOC-led birth centers in your community. And join us for our next live stream when we will connect with a board member from the Neighborhood Birth Center. To close, we would like to share with you the Neighborhood Birth Center's new video. You were welcomed with love. Set in the future, this video shares how one family and the city of Boston are transformed by the presence of a birth center. It shows us birth as a sacred process, and when the pregnant person is centered, the experience has the power to transform and heal individuals, families, and communities. It invites us to imagine what liberated birth can mean for our world. Thank you all. We hope to see you in Circle on Wednesday.
Mama, can I hear my birth story?
Of course, my love. I found out I was pregnant in the fall, just as the trees were shedding their leaves. Like the trees in nature herself, we began preparing for a new season with so much joy and excitement, readying our home, our community, and dreaming of your arrival. But you have to understand, little one, that back in 2022, many of us were still afraid to give birth. All I ever heard was how much it hurt. And the healthcare system was so broken. I saw the worrying headlines about birth outcomes in the US, and the stats were especially bad for Black people. My prenatal appointments felt rushed, and there wasn't time for my questions and ideas for your birth. I longed for something different. After each appointment, I went on long walks to breathe and return to my joy and the initial spark I felt when I first learned of you. One day, a friendly doula handed me a flyer for the opening of a neighborhood birth center, a birth option providing care differently for the many folks who can give birth safely outside the hospital. Neighborhood birth center's grand opening began with honoring the land, the elders, midwives, and leaders in the community who sowed the seeds and nurtured them. Then they thanked the many community members who helped the birth center open its doors. They spoke of how our bodies carry the trauma of the past and how pregnancy is a unique time to heal, how healing care can ripple across generations, how birth center care is safe and produces better outcomes, how this care was intentionally nested in our community, a step towards intergenerational healing. Though I hadn't heard these words before, I felt in my body and soul I was in the right place. After one look at the birth suite, I knew this is where you'd be born. I asked one of the midwives how I could become a patient. The process was simple since the birth center accepted all types of insurance. At my prenatal appointments, my midwife took the time to explain everything, and I felt my decisions were truly my own. We talked about what foods to eat to help you grow strong. With her care, I continued to have a healthy pregnancy. The birth center's other offerings, like prenatal massage and Reiki, made me feel so nurtured and held. And when the contractions first came, we called our midwife. so excited that it was almost time to hold you. When we got to the birth center, our suite was ready. I labored for many hours, but the freedom to move and the many supports in place, along with the guidance of the midwife and the comfort measures from our doula, eased the pain. Finally, I felt the urge to push, and I felt so powerful bringing you into this world. As dawn broke, the summer solstice of 2023, you uttered your first cry. I held you and your dad cried. My mother and grandmother were with us, and all I could think about was how much I loved you and how much everyone in the room loved us. 4 generations together, rooted in love, and you welcomed with love. You started nursing, then dozed off to sleep. I laid back on the soft pillows next to Dad, and we rested together as a family of 3 for the first time. And you, my love, were the first baby born at the neighborhood birth center, the first of thousands. Your birth meant so much to so many in Boston because together we were remembering what our ancestors had known for generations before us, and we were planting seeds for generations to come. Now in our community, people have a choice about where to give birth. To open our doors and birth the future of Boston, we're raising $3 million. We invite you to join our story.